let's break down exactly what this ban could mean for creators, businesses, and even our daily scroll sessions. So if you're ready to unpack this whole TikTok situation, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss this. This is going to be interesting. The most immediate impact of a TikTok ban, a mass migration of creators. Think about it, if your main platform suddenly disappears, you're going to be looking for the next best thing, right? That's where platforms like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and even Snapchat Spotlight come in. They're already in the game, competing with TikTok, and a ban would make them the default champions. For creators, this means hustling to build a new audience, adapting content, and basically starting fresh. It's not impossible, creators are adaptable, but it's a challenge for sure. But for platforms, it's a golden opportunity. We're talking about a chance to scoop up millions of users and creators, and they're going to be rolling out the red carpet with incentives, better monetization, and maybe even some algorithm tweaks to make the transition smoother. But here's where things get really interesting. The void left by TikTok could also pave the way for entirely new platforms to emerge. Think about it. Vine's demise gave rise to TikTok, and history has a way of repeating itself. We might see smaller apps that were already gaining traction suddenly explode in popularity, or we could see entirely new concepts pop up, specifically designed to capture that short-form addictive video style that TikTok perfected. And let's not forget the potential influence of the US government. They could easily throw their weight behind homegrown alternatives, providing funding, promotion, and even integration into existing platforms. Remember, TikTok's rise in China was partly fueled by government support. Could we see a similar scenario play out in the US? Only time will tell. Now, this potential surge in American-made apps, it's not just about filling a void, it's about a shift in the balance of power. TikTok's dominance has been a point of contention, with concerns about data privacy and national security. A ban could be seen as a way to reclaim control over the digital landscape, fostering the growth of homegrown platforms that adhere to US regulations and values. Think of it as a digital declaration of independence. This is where things get really interesting for startups and entrepreneurs. The potential here is huge. We could see a wave of innovation, with new apps experimenting with different formats, features, and monetization models. It's a chance to learn from TikTok's successes while also addressing its shortcomings, potentially creating something even bigger and better. Let's not forget, building a successful social media platform is no easy feat. TikTok's success wasn't just about its algorithm or features, it was about capturing a cultural moment. New platforms will need to do more than just replicate TikTok's formula. They'll need to offer something unique, something that resonates with users on a deeper level. They'll need to foster a sense of community, encourage creativity, and provide real value to both creators and viewers. It's a tall order, but the rewards for anyone who can crack the code are astronomical. So buckle up, everyone, because the race to become the next TikTok is on, and it's going to be fascinating to watch it unfold. Alright, so we've talked about creators, but what about the brands? TikTok has become a marketing goldmine. It's about understanding the platform's unique vibe and algorithm. Businesses have found success by creating engaging content. It's all about catching trends early. But with a ban, everything changes. Companies must rethink their ad strategies. Where do those marketing dollars go? Do they flood Instagram and YouTube, or gamble on emerging platforms? Can these platforms replicate TikTok? TikTok's algorithm was a game changer. It leveled the playing field for small businesses, allowing them to go viral without breaking the bank. That algorithm, though, that's the secret sauce, right? It's what made TikTok so effective for both creators and brands. It wasn't just about who had the most followers or the biggest budget, it was about creating content that resonated. Without that same algorithmic magic, will small businesses lose their edge? Will we see a return to the days when only the big players with deep pockets dominate the advertising landscape? That's the million-dollar question. It'll be interesting to see how other platforms adapt. Will they try to replicate TikTok's algorithm? Or will they stick to their guns and hope for the best? I'm sure there are countless developers out there working overtime as we speak, trying to crack the code. One thing's for sure, the digital marketing landscape is in for a wild ride. This isn't just a blip on the radar. This is a seismic shift. Businesses that can adapt quickly and find new ways to connect with their audiences will thrive. Those that cling to the old ways, well, they might get left behind. Let's face it, TikTok has been the undisputed king of viral trends. Dances, challenges, you name it, TikTok has spawned more viral sensations than we can count. It's become part of our culture, influencing everything from music to fashion. But without TikTok, where do those trends go? Do they just disappear? It's not like trends are going to stop altogether, right? People are still going to be looking for the next big thing. The question is, will other platforms be able to fill the void? Will Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts become the new breeding ground for viral content? Or will the nature of trends themselves change? Maybe, just maybe, this is the end of short-lived, hyper-fast trends as we know them. Without TikTok's rapid-fire algorithm, perhaps we'll see a shift towards more evergreen content. Content that has a longer shelf life, that stays relevant and engaging for weeks, months, even years. This could be a good thing, right? Instead of chasing the next fleeting trend, creators could focus on producing higher quality, more thoughtful content. Content that sparks real conversations and connections. Of course, there's always the possibility that other platforms will step up and fill the void left by TikTok. Maybe we'll see a surge in creativity and innovation as platforms compete for the attention of users and creators alike. The bottom line is this: the cultural landscape is going to look a lot different without TikTok. How that difference manifests itself remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room: data privacy. It's been a major talking point in the tech world for a while now, and the potential TikTok ban has only amplified the conversation. The concerns about how our data is being collected, stored, and potentially shared have never been greater. And it's not just TikTok. It's all social media platforms. We've seen data breaches, privacy violations, and questionable data practices from some of the biggest names in tech. It's clear that something needs to change. So, the question is, will the TikTok situation be the catalyst for real change? Will it finally force lawmakers and tech companies to take data privacy seriously? The scrutiny on data collection practices, especially when it comes to user data, is only going to intensify. This isn't just a passing fad, it's a fundamental shift in how we think about our digital lives. We could see new legislation, stricter regulations, and a greater emphasis on transparency from tech companies. Consumers are becoming more aware of their data rights, and they're demanding better protection. This could be a defining moment for the future of the internet. Will we move towards a more privacy-centric online experience? Or will we continue down the current path of unchecked data collection? Of course, there's always the possibility that the spotlight will simply shift to the next big target. Once the dust settles around TikTok, another platform will inevitably emerge, and the cycle may start all over again. But I'm hopeful that this time is different. The stakes are too high, and the public awareness is too great to ignore. The TikTok ban, if it happens, could be the wake-up call we need to finally prioritize data privacy in the digital age. Alright, so we've talked about how platforms will be affected, but what about the creators themselves? TikTok has created a new generation of stars, right? But their fame is closely tied to the platform itself. Unlike YouTube or Instagram, TikTok doesn't make it easy to transfer your audience. You can't just link your Instagram in your bio and expect everyone to follow. TikTok's algorithm keeps people hooked on the For You page, not necessarily individual creators. So what happens to those creators with millions of followers if TikTok disappears? Some will definitely adapt, jumping ship to Reels or Shorts and rebuilding their audience. We've already seen some savvy creators doing this, putting out content on multiple platforms. But for others, it might be a different story. They built their entire brand on TikTok's unique format and culture. It's a good reminder for creators out there: diversify your content. Don't put all your eggs in one digital basket. Imagine this. You've spent years building a loyal following on TikTok, grinding to understand the algorithm, nailing the perfect transitions, and then, boom, it's gone. That's a tough pill to swallow. The challenge for these creators isn't just about numbers, it's about rebuilding that connection, that community they cultivated on TikTok. Each platform has its own vibe, its own audience. What works on TikTok might not land the same way on Instagram. And let's not forget, competition on these other platforms is already fierce. Established YouTubers, Instagram influencers, they've already got a head start. This whole situation really highlights the fleeting nature of internet fame. It's a good reminder for everyone, creators and consumers alike, to be mindful of the platforms we rely on. Okay, so this next one might sound crazy, but hear me out. What if the TikTok ban actually leads to a resurgence of longer content? Yeah, you heard me right. Think about it. TikTok thrives on short, hyper-snackable videos. It's all about instant gratification, but maybe, just maybe, without that constant dopamine hit, people might start craving something a little more substantial. We're talking YouTube videos that go beyond 10 minutes. Podcasts with in-depth discussions, blog posts that actually require you to, read. Look, I'm not saying TikTok is the enemy of long-form content, but its absence could create a space for other formats to breathe, to regain some of the attention they've lost. And honestly, I think that could be a good thing. Don't get me wrong, I love a good TikTok trend as much as the next person. But there's something to be said for content that dives deeper, that makes you think, that stays with you after you've scrolled past it. Maybe this is wishful thinking, but I'm hopeful that a post-TikTok world could usher in a new wave of creativity. Creators experimenting with different formats, exploring new ideas, and really engaging with their audiences on a deeper level. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Let's be real for a second. If TikTok actually gets banned in the US, a lot of people are going to try to find ways around it. And you know what that means? VPNs are about to become even more popular. For those who don't know, a VPN, or virtual private network, can mask your location, making it seem like you're browsing from another country. So, theoretically you could use a VPN to connect to a server in, say, Canada, and keep scrolling through TikTok like nothing happened. But, and this is a big but, bypassing government restrictions like this comes with its own set of risks. We're talking potential legal issues, data security concerns, and even the possibility of your VPN provider logging your activity. Listen, I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you're dead set on using a VPN to access TikTok, that's your choice. But I'm all about making informed decisions. So here's the deal. Firstly, do your research. Not all VPNs are created equal. Look for reputable providers with strong privacy policies and a history of reliability. Don't just download the first free VPN app you find. Secondly, understand the risks. Bypassing government restrictions could land you in hot water, depending on where you live and the specific laws in place. And finally, think about why you're using a VPN in the first place. Is it really worth the potential risks just to keep up with the latest dance trends? Maybe, maybe not. Just something to consider. Alright, so we've talked about the impact on creators, businesses, and even viral trends. But this TikTok ban? It's way bigger than just one app, guys. This is about geopolitics, about the relationship between the US and China. Think about it. Tech is becoming a new battleground. It's like a digital Cold War is heating up, and TikTok is right in the middle of it. The TikTok ban could set a precedent for how governments deal with tech companies from rival countries. This is about the future of the internet and who controls the flow of information. Now, I'm not saying this is the start of World War III or anything, but this ban, it could have a ripple effect across the entire tech world. Think about all the other Chinese tech companies operating in the US: Huawei, Tencent, Alibaba. They're all watching this very closely. And you can bet that American companies operating in China are feeling the heat too. This could lead to a more fragmented internet with different rules and regulations in different parts of the world. It could even stifle innovation if companies are too afraid to expand globally. Bottom line, the TikTok ban might be the first domino to fall, but it's definitely not the last. This story is far from over, and the consequences could be huge. Alright, so, I know this whole TikTok situation might seem kind of bleak. Geopolitical tensions, data privacy concerns, the future of content creation hanging in the balance, it's a lot. But you know what? There's always a silver lining. Whenever we face a major tech disruption, it also creates an opportunity for innovation. It forces us to think differently, to come up with new solutions, and to push the boundaries of what's possible. And that's what I'm really curious about. How will creators adapt to a world without TikTok? Will they find new ways to connect with their audiences? Will we see a surge in creativity on other platforms? One thing's for sure, creators are a resourceful bunch. They'll find new ways to tell stories, to make us laugh, and to keep us entertained, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, or some completely new platform we haven't even heard of yet. And this is where things get exciting. We might see completely new forms of content emerge. Maybe it's AR experiences that blend the digital and physical worlds. Maybe it's interactive videos that give viewers more control. Or maybe it's AI-powered tools that help creators make even more engaging content. The point is, TikTok's absence could spark a wave of innovation in the content creation space. And that's something I'm actually really hyped about. So there you have it. Those are just some of the things that could happen if TikTok gets banned in the US. It's a complex issue with far-reaching consequences, and it's definitely not over yet. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about all this? Are you worried about the future of TikTok? Are you excited about the potential for innovation? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the tech and cultural trends shaping our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.